alongside him. He's been one of their best for the season. It's Carlton and Brisbane from Etihad Stadium here in Melbourne. I hope you're enjoying the Saturday night football. Let's see what comes our way. Hitting it hard was Redden off the wing. Black, not the sub tonight. Slapped back by Scotland. Curnow tries to take it out to the wing. Walker's a welcome return for the Blues, and Murphy, who hasn't missed a beat since he's returned. And the Blues safely advancing Carazzo. Here's Walker. No one deep, so it's going to sit at about the 30. Casbolt's in strong position. It's knocked away well by Merritt for Harwood, but the Blues are swarming around with plenty of energy. Waite lays a big tackle.
That was the umpire, approximately 40 metres away, and the umpire who's in adjudicating the mark now, he was approximately 10. He let that go.
Three important matchups already, boys. Armfield's picking up Adcock. Curnow is running with Daniel Rich, and Carazzo with Simon Black.
This is Wrigley in game number 3 for Brisbane. You heard the call as it came slewing off the boot with the smother. Ball over the line and out of bounds.
I do have to have a bit of a laugh there. Not once in the entire career of being around football has an umpire yelled, "Cut it out," and the players have cut it out.
Free kick to Murphy.
There's only one way to cut that sort of stuff out.
Well, Rains is playing on Murphy. Well, you've got to blow the whistle down. Here's Cruiser.
That stops it.
Sends it in towards full forward, but Patfull, he's certainly a man you can rely on to do the job for the Brisbane Lions. He takes the mark. So Patfull on Waite. Merritt on Casbolt. Cruiser and Hudson, and the ball over the line and out of bounds. Spotted anything yet, Kingy?
Well, I just think the spread of the Carlton side is really challenging Brisbane early. They're trying to evacuate these clearance areas really fast, really quick, and try and get the game played at a high tempo.
Redden made the play. Dumps it up to half forward. Watson and Lyle, who came in for his first game for Brisbane last week, and Watson escorts it over the boundary line. Michael Voss, Mark Harvey, of course, as his senior assistant for this season. Hudson away from Murphy. Cruiser with the backup work. There's Wrigley again getting involved in Rains and Polkinghorn. Leicester had to wait. Tries to make the play. Simpson just sweating off him. And it squirts out the back. Redden, Hanley makes do with what was there. Scotland playing in front. Zorko with him. Stripped away from Lyle. Here's Watson coming up. Not the best of handballs for White, who had to anxiously wait as Jonathan Brown started to challenge him. Gibbs takes it away to half-back. And eventually Tui gets it under his command. You can see the hesitation. There was no obvious targets. Waits had to really bust a gut. And haven't they missed him doing that sort of stuff?
Good hands. Great lead.
Back into Gibbs. Controlling things across half-back. Watson, we know he's got a lethal left boot, and he can use it here. Simpson clapping his hands, calling for it at half-forward. Takes it, and hard lead from Walker. That's well controlled. Oh, good late spoil. An effective one from Harwood, because it looked like the Blues with their long left foot kicks were going to take the ball and really threaten. But the Lions steadfast enough. Somewhat dangerous handball. Hanley prepared to take them on. We know that. Rockcliffe along the line. This is Green advancing. Good system. Oh, it comes unglued very quickly, though. Close, very close to holding the ball.
You got to hit fist to it.
Here's Lyle to take it from Black towards the boundary line. We know the crowd's going to be calling for deliberate out of bounds just about every time it goes over this weekend.
And rightly so, given what we witnessed last night, Anthony. But that is the strength of these two clubs. Without the football, they are prepared to put pressure on and try and win it back instantly. It's a credit to them.
Rockcliffe tries to poke it through. This is Redden now, starting to generate a little bit of run, perhaps. Leicester goes to Brown. They converge on him quickly. It's out of bounds.
Yeah, they double-teamed him straight away. Just down in front of you there, Benny Dixon, you would have seen Hudson. He's the #1 boundary line ruckman in the comp again this year.
Here's Rich. He's got a wonderful, wonderful left foot kick. This time it's slightly astray.
Yeah, you get plenty of use there, Derm. Obviously, last week they got crucified in the stoppages, so a lot of work would have gone into that this week, but they're working quite hard, obviously, to just keep it in nice and close.
He doesn't jump high, Hutto. But he can push mighty hard. Not talking about you, either, Anthony.
Well, it's probably accurate, the jump bit anyway. Carrazzo from the back pocket. Cruiser and Hudson, little nudge, just delicate enough to get away with it. Brings it down to the troops at ground level. Black hesitated, found a way to get the ball onto the boot. Rains, industrious stuff from Simpson. Starts with his backside on the ground, which made the going pretty tough for him. Walker, Rockcliffe, it's pretty willing in there. Trying to chance his arm through. Rockcliffe is in the back free. Advantage taken by Zorko. Brown in pretty good shape to take the mark. He couldn't. Lyle, now Brown. He's hurt them before and he might hurt them tonight. There's the first.
That is 2 contests that Jonathan Brown has gone for. Both times he has legitimately been in the air. A little bit of a slam dunk on that one. Now watch when this ball gets to him. Once again, legitimately he has to compete against 2 opponents, which means there's going to be a 3rd man down on the ground. That player was there, Jordan Lyle, couldn't quite gather it, but he held the ball just underneath him and allowed Brown a grab on it. He's drawing a second opponent for those balls coming in. He'd be inclined to try, and Banfield's in the forward line, usual crummer, but he's there in a negating role against Yarran, it appears. Get another crummer near Jonathan Brown and they'll mop up.
Rockcliffe with the exit. Zorko keeping Gibbs's hands full. Green, slick stuff. They're inside from Rangers. Kick Brown again. White did enough to just keep him at bay, and Watson was there to take the mark. Sloppy handball. Need the skills of Yarran to get them out. Takes him to the boundary line. It gets the all-clear throw in.
But that's going to be the challenge tonight, Anthony, whether they can engage that loose man that's just in front of Scotland, in front of Brown, I should say. At that stage, it was Heath Scotland. Can they engage and leave him in a one-on-one?
Rains came skipping through. Buick, Green. We know he's sneaky around goal. He just wasn't quite straight. So it's a good start by Brisbane after Carlton made the early running for the first couple of minutes. Lions have been making the play. Instant kick in was a pretty good one for Simpson to run onto. Looks ahead. Casbolt's with a long target here by Carrazzo. And down the line he goes. Couldn't hang on to it though. And Patfull walks over the boundary line for a throw-in.
We have a look at what's happening to Jonathan Brown there.
Just Watson dropping back in front, making it a 2-on-1 instantly. If they can use that shorter target and find that half forward just in front of Brown, they'll score some quality goals.
Let's see which way the ball bounces.
Good pace.
Howard, he might be able to escape McGuinness. He could and was confident in giving it off to Adcock. Nothing on that outside other than Buick. So you'd think the Blues might have been able to have that cover, but Buick was the one that read the ball with great expertise. It deserved a goal, that little manoeuvre, but it only produces a behind.
Worrying signs there for Carlton. 2 missed tackles at that stage, which is a real concern. Broken tackles and allowed the free shot at goal. He maybe should have made more of that, Rowan Buick.
Yarran safely into McLean.
But when the ball's been on the outside, especially the other wing, the outer wing, Brisbane just have too much pace out there at the moment. They've been able to increase the distance between their opponent and the ball.
Kerner got it down and away along the line. Waite couldn't quite get the handball right for Garlett, who was ready for action.
Now it looks like Zorko has gone over to Yarran. It was Buick for a little while.
Cruiser through to Bell. He's made an impression. Him and he's been compared with this man, Robinson, with his aggression. So they're both in the team tonight. Deep kick, too deep, too wide, away from Casbolt out on the full.
Both sides struggling to mark the ball in their forward half. Just the 2 to Brisbane forward of centre, and 2 to Carlton forward of centre, none to Brisbane as yet. Just shows the strength and the quality of both back lines at this stage.
Well, the 3 balls that Jonathan Brown's gone for, he's been double-teamed, contested possessions at the moment, so 8-19. But if they can get the ball flatter to Brown, he's getting in the right position. It's just hanging above his head for that extra half to 1 full second.
Here's Jordan Lyle, the former Hawk, wobbly old one up onto the wing. Anyone's footy there. Banfield did well to withstand quite a lot of heat. Back to Robinson and Rich. Murphy's there as well. Moved it quickly. Rich again. Pretty graceful stuff. Got it through safely to Polkinghorne. Rich want to get on the end of it. He can. He can't. Out wide it goes to Lyle instead. And now back to Rains. The entry into the 50 was wide but effective. And again, it's Buick, number 43 for the Lions, who takes the mark.
Well, that's the quality we're talking about, just the ability to hit a target in your forward half. It just opens up the whole game. It was a great kick there from Rains, just into space, and allowed Buick to find his way into the ball at his own time. He's got some space off Gibbs in Scotland early on. He's been quite sharp.
Yep.
So it's his angle 68 degrees. And it's not going to make it.
Dangerous spoil.
Very dangerous. Allowed Banfield to have a good look at it, but he couldn't quite.
Buick, number 43 for the Lions. He's had Tui against him. Now, Tui's not slow, but he's not ultra quick by league standards. He's obviously made a mixed match up there with Gibbs, but he's been able to get away from Tui very easily.
McGuinness got it through safely enough to Scotland as they scoot around the boundary line. Here is Tui, the Irishman. Oh, Betts had 2 to beat and really never looked like being able to compete at all. Wrigley sends it into the middle to Black. They're looking for the next step, which will...
Didn't go over. He wanted to, but he didn't.
He's going to go by hand, as his usual mantra. Now the call is on as he goes to Buick, and he's darting this way and that at the moment. He's quite a handful for the Blues defence, who no doubt have a lot of their concentration on big Jonathan Brown.
Well, he's a half-forward flanker, but I dare say those little monitors that are just in between the shoulder blades, high up on the spine, that map the GPS plot your steps during the match. What, for 12 minutes in, he'd probably be leading the game at the moment. He's run the hardest so far.
Probability on AFL averages 61%. He's happy to honour that. They've kicked all the scores so far, 2-3 to nothing. What a bold start by the Brisbane Lions.
There are starts when you know a team jumps the opposition, and there are starts when you see a pattern develop in the game. This is actually not a jump. This is a pattern.
Okay.
I'd be concerned if I was Carlton right now. Now, most people, including ourselves, expected Carlton to win this, and now we're only early days in, and they can change the strain of this game. But I'd be concerned.
Buick's first goal, contested possessions kicking very early, 21-10.
And the problem is it's 17-6 in the last 10 minutes. They're right on top here, the Brisbane Lions. And the real problem for Carlton is it's going on the scoreboard at the moment. 2-3 to zip, as you said.
Casbolt got it down. McLean as much as he could, but Black with that little edge of class tapped it further. Redden's hungry for the ball. McGuinness feeling it from both sides. In comes Tui and Zorko. They combat. McGuinness goes again, and we'll have another bounce.
Something very noticeable down here, guys, is the speed of the ball. Brisbane just taking reactive, obviously want to move it nice and quick. They've come in with a focus that they want to slow Carlton down. That's why they're getting all the space up forward, Brisbane.
They've got an extra back there, Carlton, but he's not in play here. So Yaron had to try and win it one-on-one. Banfield in the end took on about 3. Now Murphy was over it. Yaron caught one. Play on all fronts. Black again intervening. His handball was speculated at best, so Casbolt tries to help them out of there. Scotland took it from Simpson. Again, Walker's going to be outnumbered here on the wing. And that was pretty easy fodder for Elliot Yeo, who's a late inclusion into this side. Angles the kick in short to Patful. Banfield's there, and arriving late is Lyle. Got through them all. Scotland sweeping on it. Not perfect for Simpson. The give was too quick for Watson, too quick for his own teammate. And Green and Banfield and Lyle tried something, and it wasn't a bad something either.
Not the world's best set shot, Jordan Lyle, so that's probably the way you'd want to get on the board and open the account tonight.
It just looked like Carlton are trying to play too fast on counter-attack. They've got the extra number back behind the ball in front of Jonathan Brown. They just need to utilise that spare man a little bit more effectively on the way out. This sort of possession here, try and isolate that spare player to then draw Brisbane's spare player at the other end forward to play on you, and then you get the game played on your terms. This is perfect here, what they're doing right now. Just slow the game down. Take the air out of the tyres a bit, let the pressure drop.
Hard running required by Walker to do that. Goes long to wait. Both he and Bell looked likely, but again, neither could complete the job. It's all good as far as Brisbane are concerned. Good tackling and cocked over by the Carlton players there. Gibbs got in, but so did Rich to counterpunch. Murphy hasn't seen a lot of light so far with range. This is all set up for Eddie Betts, and Eddie goes to work in the pocket. Under pressure from Hanley, keeps it under, and then the rest of the troops arrive. Gibbs go to lend a hand, and Redden slaps it out of bounds. How's that one? That's okay.
May not have been okay last night, Anthony, but it is tonight. Dangerous Eddie, isn't he? One-on-one. That was a great effort there by
Hanley, wasn't it?
Hanley, just to control Eddie because he loves that situation.
Bell did pretty well under the circumstances. McLean fighting a battle he couldn't win because of sheer manpower against him. And another bounce. Blues without a score. 15 minutes into the opening quarter. Brown's been off the ground. That's why Simon White was having a spell for Carlton. Well, that'll help the cause because Big Casboult's going to have a shot for goal for the free kick.
Well, they just can't get White back on the ground at the moment, Hutto, and it's going to cause some concerns with Jonathan Brown at the other end. That's why this free kick was so important, to keep the ball in the forward half while they restructure their backline, Carlton. But it's a big kick. They're struggling here, Carlton. They just need a bit of reward for their effort early.
2 goals, 3 in his 3 matches so far, Levi Casboult. Kicked 1-2 last week. Starts way left and doesn't improve too much, but it's a score. Margin is 15 early doors here. So Hanley with the responsibilities at full-back. Very short into play. There's Yeo again. Back to Hanley. That's a spear up to the wing, and it was too low for Hudson. Casboult intervenes again for Carlton. High, set up for Waite perhaps, or Walker. They both leap. Oh, Garland had his moment, couldn't capture it. It's still up there for anyone. Betts already into his move before the ball. Got it out for Gibbs. He'll fancy his chances. Garland, they've worked it all the way back. Mitch Robinson with a stand, but not the deliver. And it's over the line again.
It's hard yards for Carlton. Look, their Crummers inside forward 25 look dangerous. But there's not much system the way the ball's getting down there or advantage to anyone else.
Cruiser, Rockcliffe, Hudson. Hanley, oh, difficult situation for him there. Cruiser just trying to barge his way through. Had a lot of finesse, quick kick away Hanley. Reset though for the Blues perhaps. Oh, smart stuff from Brown to thump it back into the maze of players. Well done Watson, got it quickly to White. Back to Watson, they're transferring the heat around amongst each other at the moment, the Blues. A calming influence was Carazzo, and now McGuinness, all the Brisbane players ahead of Heath Scotland here.
This is the kick that Dermy's talking about. Kicking efficiency in the forward half. They're going 38% at the moment, Carlton. This is no problem down back, but this next kick that goes forward is going into an advantageous area for the Brisbane Lions in terms of their extra man. And then just work this around slowly. Basketball.
Simpson knew that he had to get inside to have an opportunity to score the goal, but it's a miss.
Basketball style, Hutto, and just go around the top of the key. Go around the 50, chip, 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 and then just find an easy avenue through. Not going to kick a big score having shots from 55 out.
Hanley pumped it quickly to Zorko. Lions away with Jonathan Brown from half-back. Decides to dish the little handball off to Zorko, and he is bursting through the middle. Polkinghorne was a little flat-footed to receive the ball, but Zorko came and came again. Off to Wrigley. Stubbed the toe a bit as it went to half-forward. Tapped away Carazzo. Here's Wrigley again. And they group up at half-forward, the Lions. Deep into the pocket. Too deep, perhaps. Buick tried to steal the march on Scotland. Didn't make contact. Advantage paid for the free kick. Gibbs serviced Carazzo and then to Simon White. Now Casboult's got away. It needed to be a pinpoint pass. It wasn't. And it was pretty ordinary. Merritt was onto it. His anticipation terrific. And the Lions are really here. They really mean business. Zipping through Black for Adcock. And held up in his tracks by Walker. They continue to go laterally. This is Patfull sneaking down.
Now he's got Lyle and Brown down the line, but there are 2 extra Carlton players. You can see Simpson
Cruiser
standing on the 50. Cruiser just to the inside. He'll try and make this. Won't get there. Oh, that's in the back.
McGuinness got the fist to it. And ends with Leicester. Again, back into the middle. Had to wait longer than he would have liked, Rockcliffe, but he responded beautifully and delivered to the man that is proving more than nuisance value, and that is Buick.
He is, Hutto, but just started to open up for Jonathan Brown at full forward here. He's worked Simon White over for the last 5 minutes.
Yep.
You can just see White, he's doubled over. He's in pain now. He's trying to find some legs. Brown had 3 or 4 metres. He wasn't used on that occasion, but you just feel this next few minutes are critical for White to hang in if Carlton are to stay in this quarter.
This lad was kicking very well in practice before the game.
He was. It doesn't always transfer into the game to him. Sometimes it does.
Just wanted to keep
doesn't.
Carlton in the game then by saying that.
I think that is alarm bells, though, when you see Jonathan Brown getting 3 or 4 metres easy now in this last sort of 3 or 4 minute patch.
Well, you saw him get the ball, received a second possession from the kicking on the back flank and then run to the wing.
Oh, lovely timing on the mark after the big Watson kick in. Waite takes the grab. Goes to centre half forward, Betts. They're bolting back to the goals. Garlett's calling for it. You know, and he'll do his best to get it to him, and he does. And he takes the mark in the pocket.
Well, that's potency, isn't it, Durham? Coast to coast from a kick out.
If I'm as an assistant coach at Carlton, I'd be worried that they're running a lot harder when they think there's reward for the running, as in a shot at goal, than they are going the other way.
So Garlett, who has contributed 21 goals, 20, kicked 2 straight last week. Here he is. It's 50-50 from there. Oh, it's a nice strike, and they're on the board with a goal.
Jack Redden's an interesting one for me. He's playing behind the footy. He's on the ball, but he's playing behind the footy. He's coming off the wing. He's getting into the middle and sometimes starting in the middle, but then he's playing behind the footy, and he's giving them a little bit of that quick hands once he finds the ball inside defensive 50.
Still just 23 years of age, Jeff Garlett. So hopefully his best footy is still ahead. That's not a great bounce. And the umpire was going to go easy on himself and then thought, no, that's gone too far outside of the ring.
Well, he spared Durham, as you said, on the wing in front of us, Jack Redden.
Yep.
And off the back of the square, Bryce Gibbs is all alone. I think that suits Carlton for the initial centre bounce or centre clearance situation. He'll probably get this ball here, Gibbs, if it comes out the back.
Bit of a shove from Bell, not seen by the umpire. Took on Wrigley, didn't give him any respect. Was able to shape the kick from Robinson. He was straight ahead stuff, and it paid off because Eddie Betts was there to pounce. And all of a sudden, Carlton have got 2.
Goes down to a goal from clearances. Sneaks out the back. Bell's able to get on the end of a Carazzo handball to the outside, shrugs the tackle. Now the bump here, it's brave by Hanley, but he's left his opponent, Betts, who just seizes on the opportunity. He sees Hanley. If he commits like that, he's got to get the ball going away from him.
I know they can't rely on them solely, but nice for Carlton to have Betts and Garlett with a goal in the first quarter. That'll lift spirits. Their last 10 minutes, we see they just started to get on top of that area they were getting smashed in earlier, David.
Yeah, they still trail by 10, Carlton, in that area, but when they square the ledger there, they'll beat them on the outside. Their uncontested game is first class, we know that. They're just starting to get rolling now, Anthony.
Yeah, Garlett got it out. They acted forward through Robinson. Just paid the mark to Merritt.
That's good mark, that.
He's had to go back into defence last week and now this week with the absence of the injured Maguire.
That's a soft one.
Just a little soft touch, and Leslie didn't even realise it was his. But it is. And it's the Lions now by 3. Their lead has eroded in the last couple of minutes. The Blues starting to come to life. So it's a testing patch here for the Lions before quarter time.
You see both these teams caught in this situation 9 times out of 10 have to go down the line, and that's why they are mid-list teams at this point in time.
Oh, cruiser.
Great effort. Most of the really good teams can kick the eyes out of it and pick a target back into the centre and take it out the other way. This way, it gets packy. You kick to a massive pack like that, it gets picked off, and we have scrappy footy. That's fine. It's honest, but it's what we expect.
Lyle doing the ruck work against Cruiser. That was Polkinghorne trying to make the running. Murphy with an opportunity. In the back. Free kick against Tommy Rockcliffe. And Andrew Rains right on the spot as well, as you would expect.
That's better.
Quick release for Walker. And guides the ball. The bootlaces literally of Casbolt. Bell trying to back up. Good tackle pressure.
Just the fact that Walker runs past makes movement, makes the ball travel quicker, and it misses the pack at the other end. So you almost have to invent a little, your first little possession.
There's Bell again, thumps it deep, raises the stakes. Wade had to combat too. Well done to Wrigley. And a little bit of jump attack there on Howard.
And that's okay. You don't mind giving a free kick away, deep defence like this here, because their pressure to hold them up and squeeze up the ground, they'll back themselves to win this ball back, Carlton.
Gee, that's a great they might, not quite. They might now. Yaron had a couple inside. Gibbs was one he could have used. Instead, he decided to go solo along the flank.
How good was the Pierce Hanley kick? I know Buick, and it was a Buick who ended up coughing. Banfield dropped the mark, but that was centimetre perfect.
I think that one's gone already, Durham.
No, yeah, but it really was. Had to be weighted and length.
Takes it out to the wing. Nicely guided for Lyle. 3 points the margin for Brisbane. Minute and a half to go. Just dabs this one for Polkinghorne. Takes the mark, looks inside, nothing there. So, ooh, that's a dangerous option. Still might come unstuck for them. Rich with the desperation over the top. Kerner, Hudson. It came out just at the right time for Walker, who arrived on the scene. Simpson looks up and sees nothing but Lions jumpers ahead. Hence the decision to go back, firstly to Scotland. Even he's got numbers against him as he kicked up to Waite. And the numbers prevail in the end. This is Green trying to take on Simpson. It's as high as it is long. Watson got the spoil on. Good tackling from Robinson to Bell, who charges through, kicks it up to the wing, but hands it straight back for Pierce Hanley. What a player he's become. His 8th disposal.
I'll tell you what, there's a good job being done out there by Ed Kernow, just on Daniel Rich, and the 4 disposals at the moment. He's the game breaker for the Lions as they come through the corridor.
Well, they've opened them up a few times, haven't they, through the middle? A little too easily for a Carlton fan. Here's Howard. It deserved a goal. It didn't register one.
He was celebrating there, Hutto. I thought he'd kick that one. But that passage of play there through the corridor really disappointed the Carlton coaching staff. Their pressure's been pretty good for the first 25 minutes, and they've just dropped off the last couple.
Tackles 27 to 16 in favour of Carlton. Now Simpson, you can see the clocks against them here. The race against time will be lost, so they'll go to quarter time. Carlton 4 points behind. This Brisbane side have come out full of endeavour, and they've kicked 2-6 to lead the Blues 2-2.
Big Jonathan Brown on screen there, getting double teamed, triple teamed on one occasion as well, but he is a bit of a target up there. But if the Lions can see the opponent that he frees up by his presence, they'll be a lot better served. Carlton found the ball a little bit more readily as that quarter wore on and impacted the scoreboard. 2-2-14, trailing the Lions 2-6-18.
To come in and shut that down. They didn't, and they're obviously paying for it now.
Second quarter, Cruiser aims up against Hudson in the middle. Hudson came late with the tap. It was an effective one in terms of getting it down, but straight into Walker's hands and then to Murphy, and suddenly Carlton at half forward. Slave to the bounce was Casbolt, but he was able to get back onto it. That was shut down pretty quickly by Merritt. Now bouncing his way through Garland. Touch of the Timmy Watson's about that as he jumped over the pack. High contact late from Simpson. And you heard the call there. Redden takes it and finds Rich already bolting out to the wing. Carazzo for his partner at the moment. There's Harwood. They've got it out to the wing to Rockcliffe and back to Rich. So it's in the right hands now. Thump, you heard the kick. Searing ball, but very wide out to the pocket. And Green just able to scoop it up. Lyle, top of the square. Brown one-on-one with White. That's what Brisbane are trying to contrive down there. This is Tui off the left. He was kicking into a vacant lot out here on the wing. And the bounce was absolutely perfect for Walker, who just was so cruel to Wrigley. And Walker goes to half forward. Hard stuff in front again. That's good signs, isn't it?
That's good.
Casbolt went thundering into the hands and didn't leave it. Vice-like stuff into the pocket. Eddie Betts perhaps looking half for a bit of a free kick there on Hanley.
The best way to describe that is a body spoil. He knew he wasn't going to hit the ball, so he let the body cannon into the back of Eddie's. Just shifts him off the spot where Eddie anticipated the ball was dropping to.
Was that a halo on the head of Michael Voss?
Not as a player. Oh, very good spot. Very good. Hey, he did really well, White, in the one-on-one down there with Jonathan Brown, because Brown searched for the body because he knows he's got him done with power and strength. That's a hold call.
Mark Murphy. And I guess these are the little things, Derm, that you don't pick up when you have your stars on the sidelines through suspension or injury. You just miss out on these bonus situations, like just the worry, the fear they put into their opponents close to goal. Murphy will pick up an opportunity here that hasn't been a structural play, that hasn't been a set play. It's just been a talent, just sheer talent around the actions caused some panic.
Pierce Hanley says to the umpire, look at the scoreboard, watch the replay, I didn't hold him.
This is for his 10th goal, just his 13th game of the season. Of course, it's out, as we can see, to the right, and didn't ever look like wandering back. Hasn't missed a beat really since his return, has he? 24, 21, 26 and 24. Been very consistent.
Well, it's not going out the other side.
No. Notice Ed Kernow on the bench at the moment. He's relying on Carazzo to lock Daniel Rich away. He's already had 2 disposals this term. Be keen to get back out on the ground. He kept him to 4 for the first 30 minutes.
Redden a handball to Rockcliffe. That was not good at all. Gave it straight back to Murphy, who can set it up and wait. It's all on his own.
Shepherd, and that's a good decision.
Silly.
Jeff Garlett has to pretend to go for the ball. You can't put your arms out like a shepherd. That's just uneducated.
Patful looking for Lyle. Watson has him covered, and it's out of bounds.
I don't know if we get a look at... Watch Jeff Garlett's arms. Watch him spread the arms. You can't do that. You get the same result if you go for the ball, but just place your body between that opponent and your marking teammate.
Rains tries to get going. Rockcliffe, adventurous handball along the line for Zorko, but it's out of bounds.
Well, it's that same anticipated benefit.
Now, Cruiser and Hudson. Redden waiting out the back here all on his own, and that's who it was aimed for straight away. So good system worked by the line. Zorko to run right back through the traffic. Harwood maybe copped a little one high from Betts. Play on the call. Patful back to Zorko again. Promising work here for the Lions. Thumping kick very, very deep. Lyle, big leap and a lovely mark. Got the hands up and didn't let it leave.
Just watch Jonathan Brown then, Dermot. He led the other way. He led away from this situation to allow for 2 one-on-ones. And that's where Watson is vulnerable. He's in his infancy. We know that. He's just learning the craft. He is vulnerable. I think that's great team play from Jonathan Brown.
Oh, no doubt. He's smart and he will give to his other teammates. That was a great mark. This is the tough bit for Jordan Lyle to negotiate.
He's kicked 1-5 in his career until now. And that's away to the right for another behind.
Is that 2 goals now, Anthony? 1-6?
It would be, I guess, in points tally, David. Thanks for your help as the kick goes out of defence and down to Robertson, who takes it now from Yaron and thumps it again to centre half forward. This is all set up for Wait. Cruiser was, well, they may well have gotten each other's way there. Just create that little bit of uncertainty. And now the Lions again with some nifty hands through the middle, maybe one too many. Carazzo, there's Blues galore out there. Carazzo decides to kick, didn't really use the numerical advantage they had around the footy. Instead, set the task for Murphy, who got clipped on the way through. And Rains worked a pretty fine line there in terms of not giving away the 50. Dapped pass for Arnfield.
I think they like doing that, Carlton. Arnfield's got the job on Adcock tonight. They like rewarding the tagging player, just to put the pressure back on the player they've targeted, which clearly tonight is Chet Adcock.
Got turned over in the middle of the ground. They're not skillful enough yet to hit the target under that sort of pressure in that sort of traffic at AFL level.
So Dennis Arnfield has played 18 games for the season, which is a pretty good effort. 25-year-old. Kicks on its way. He's been able to kick some goals too this year, and that's a very timely one to give them the lead for the first time. $15 goals, 5 for the year. And if you are going to play a defensive role up forward, you have to be able to take your chances when you have those shots for goal, don't you?
Oh, no doubt. You must impact and hurt the opposition. You must put a little bit of feeling in his mind where he says, where's my opponent, rather than if you don't do that, he's always going to make his own play and he doesn't worry about you.
Mark Murphy having an impact in this quarter too. King, he's already had 4 disposals so far.
Yeah, just watching the battle of the loose man at either end, the extra man at either end, and I just feel that Heath Scotland as the loose man for Carlton will be a little bit more effective than what the Brisbane Lions are getting at their end. They're mixing it up a little bit, but Carlton away.
Great stuff from Carazzo to somehow just get it to Simpson, and suddenly Carlton are going strongly forward, and Casbolt not doing anything to harm his reputation tonight.
He's looked terrific. He looks powerful at the ball. Some forwards can get big when the ball arrives, get big through the shoulders and have a real presence when the ball's in their area. And I think this guy is one of those. He's got a strong body when the ball arrives. He's hard to spoil.
I know what you mean. The best way I can see is they're actually squared to the ball when it comes in, and you can't get round them to get the spoil.
Now, can he convert? Oh, I thought he could. Oh, it goes late, but it had already gone past.
They're winning the contested possession. They've turned it around in this quarter. I mean, they started to halfway through last quarter arrest that slide where Brisbane was winning the 50-50 balls.
So Hanley has it. Brisbane need to be pretty clean here. Carlton looking threatening for the moment. Waite up over the top. Tried to mark it. Probably should have been a bit more diligent and gone with the spoil. Hudson, no favours for Yo, who had to show his undoubted ability, but even that, wasn't a good time to lose the footing. But they've managed to, with a bit of help from the skill of Simon Black, get themselves out of it. Back to Hanley.
Just missing a few tackles at the moment, Carlton. Really starting to slip away in their ability to lock arms or lock the ball in, and it's giving Brisbane a secondary opportunity to get out of the tight, confined spaces they trapped them in.
Again, they're tracking wide with Jed Adcock. Back to the middle. So they are hemmed in just for the moment, the Lions. This is a little freer for them. Merritt going short. You heard the call on Yo. He had to react, and he was able to. Gets it back. Watch out behind. Garlett didn't give away the free. Almost could have been rewarded. Carazzo crafts the kick to centre half ball. Robertson, the setup was perfect for Arnfield. A wobbly old kick for Betts. He let it bounce. He knew what he was doing.
Turnover again.
There was an element of risk there with letting it bounce, but he read it and pops it through. Suddenly Carlton lead by 9.
Yeah, Hudson, this handball here, the turnover, never quite had enough pace up there. Young Elliott Yo, turnover. Yeah, spotted it up pretty well. It's not the world's best pass, well, but it worked.
Yeah, I actually think he was passing to him.
He was passing it. He deliberately passed it.
So a good result anyway. Eddie Betts has kicked his second. Just kicked the two goals 3 when they met earlier in the year.
Just looking at the handball numbers this quarter, Hutto, they've had 22 handballs and 8 kicks, the Brisbane Lions, coming under some real pressure. Carlton, their endeavour's been good. They've slipped a couple of tackles, but they've forced 4 turnovers and 2 goals have resulted for Carlton.
Here goes Gibbs off for Curnow, intervening with Rockcliffe. He drills the ball into the 50. It's got a fair bit on it too. It almost goes all the way. It's escorted in the end through for a behind by Simon White.
And I guess that's the loose man effect, that they feel they need to systematically work the ball down the ground, but at this stage the handball rate not working.
Cruz attacks and then waits. Could go short to Gibbs. Has got grander plans. There was a Yep, a fairly low percentage really in the end. Merritt was able to get there, but the Blues used their numbers well. Simpson to half forward, Waite, high leap again, interfered with. Oh no, it's against Waite.
That was a good tackle by Casbolt to turn the ball over here on the wing again.
A little bit of confusion on Patfull's face as to where to head next, but successfully accomplished. Wrigley. Out wide, of course, for Ryan Lester. And now to Rich. Instant turn. Gave a look for McLean. Got a fingernail to it. That was enough. Robinson. Bell went flying past. Almost ground to a halt. Now he can give it plenty. Betts puts the speed on and gets there. And what a threat he is. He's lining up for number 3.
That was on the run for a drop punt. It's a 65-metre drop punt on the run. If you have a look where Tom Bell unloads from, what's that, 4-5 out from the end line, so that's carried 40 to 45 into the 50s, kicked it from well inside the centre square. He's made an impression, hasn't he, in his first 4 weeks, Tom Bell, but this is Eddie Betts now on camera, and he'll be mightily disappointed in that. That would have been a very handy advantage for Carlton at this early stage. So what the Lions are doing on the kick in, they're bringing everybody into the channel. Carlton are then closing up their zone on them, and they're predominantly going to one side. No, that's not going to work. That's not. Well, it's a good effort from Rockcliffe, really. But Betts was able to come up with the footy. They all converged. Bryce Gibbs was in the right place, but he's kicking not as timely.
Their forward setup's quite interesting, Carlton. When the ball's in the centre of the ground with a fast play, their big guys move up the field and allow the space over the backs for the Garletts and Betts, and obviously Betts getting himself right in the play at this stage.
Ben Dixon with us on the boundary tonight as Redden bounces his way out of defence. Heads for the wing, Watson and White both there. Again, didn't really synchronise their efforts too well. Green and Banfield. Rich getting a little adventurous. Back to Buick. Delayed the handball, and you can see why. Lyle, the next one good. Green, foot down, heads to goal like a good small forward. But, oh, maybe there was a target for him. It was a pretty significant one there.
Well, he's the captain.
Yeah.
When the captain's free, I think it's advisable for a younger player to just chip that to the captain. And just have a look at the time in forward half. That's why they've had to maximise their opportunities when they go forward. Brisbane, 74% of this second quarter in Carlton's forward line. It's been because of their ability to mark the ball.
Well, they turn it over this time. Adcock just over the head there of Brown, but again, good backup crew. Back to Brown from Black to full forward. Buick again. He's been the main threat down there tonight. He just covers more ground than his opponent. I've been watching Tui's had the major time, and he got close to goal there. Yaron's picked up the mark there, but Tui is actually assigned to him. When they go out there and they bounce the ball, and the first bloke to run with him, it's Tui, and he gets away. He's getting away from him. So Buick comes in. Brisbane needs something in this quarter. That's not a bad effort. That is better than not bad. Buick delivers. Hudson's trying to get back on. He's down in front of you there, Dicko, and he cannot get on. Oh, now Jonathan Brown comes off. 2 goals, 2 for Rowan Buick. Missed last week after playing 10 consecutive games. 2-2 takes his season tally to 12 goals.
He's provided a target for them. He's taken 4 marks inside the forward 50 for the game, which is their complete total at this stage. So they need to utilise him when he's out, because it's changing the defensive mindset of the Carlton backs.
A couple of good efforts from Cruiser, but it ends in Brisbane's hands. Lyle and worked it back through Wrigley to Yo. So a couple of youngsters there. Kicking out to the wing, McLean had his jumper being held by Dwayne Zorko. Played that well. There's Dane Zorko just grabbing onto a little bit of McLean's Carlton Guernsey into the middle to McGuinness. Interesting to hear Brock McLean speak a couple of weeks ago when he got
dropped a few weeks before. He said, oh, not that one, that interesting speech, but he said, I thought my career was over. He said, I thought I'd be playing out time now. They certainly come back hard.
Tui into the pocket. It was well placed, wasn't it? And that's a signature move from Walker as he gets away, takes the mark in the pocket.
I hope we get another look at this, Hutto, because Walker actually didn't lead. He just pointed where he wanted the ball, exactly that camera angle there. And a great kick into space, and that's how a forward wants it. He only wants one person to be able to mark that ball, and that kick was placed perfectly.
Interrupted season for Andrew Walker. Hasn't spent anywhere near as much time forward as he has in the last year anyway. He's still managed 12 goals, 8 before tonight. And here he is. Needs a mighty good effort, and that's a beautiful kick from Walker, and it's back to 9 again.
Was Jack Redden running through there, decided he was just going to be a nuisance for a few seconds. It was cleverly played too, because he just protected where the ball was going to. Harwood's 184 centimetres. Walker, he's not a huge man. He's about 6'2" in the old language. That wasn't. No, that was Redden second in.
Yeah, I think he owed the first time.
Yeah. You see the size difference there. It just means that the bloke like Walker's used to playing key position on a 50-50 basis. Harwood probably never played a key position.
Rich to centre half forward. Tui diligent that time. Got it away from Buick. There's Carazzo. The umpire was about to blow the whistle for holding the ball. Didn't in the end. Waite couldn't mark. Adcock there to swoop. Lions press go. Wrigley takes it out wide. Again, this is Buick. And again, there's the next link in the chain. Along the line, it was too difficult for the big man Lyle to handle. And they're going to get away here, the Blues. Scotland scooting through half back. Changed his mind midstream. Lyle couldn't bring it completely to a halt, but the pressure's good from Green. And it's over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Heard you called their out, Kingy. That was Dane Zorko. He got by himself, and it was Heath Scotland who actually peeled away from him. We have a look there. The turnover's 3-2 now in favour of Carlton. That's what they've hit the scoreboard with when Brisbane are giving it back.
Zorko given a second chance by the umpire. Tui, well, just did enough apparently. Redden was onto it. Into the space. Brown and White beating them all to it. Banfield!
As you mentioned, boys, pressure a lot better from the Brisbane Lions. Their last 3 exits have been extremely soft. Let the ball come straight out, so it's good to see they're putting up a little bit of pressure.
Scotland had to turn because the Blues are bolting forward. Casbolt had to wait longer than he would have liked. Patfield couldn't go with him. Garlett's off. Garlett's kicking quickly. It was smart play because they were coming from all angles, the Blues. I think it was possibly designed for the lead of Walker, but Armfield beat him to it.
I just wonder whether, when Banfield misses shots, whether it hurts enough, whether it really hurts enough, because he's quick, but he's not having an effect in any other area. He's dropped balls, he's missed shots.
Armfield already with a goal in this quarter, and now looking for another. It's been a good turn for the Blues. Can they capitalise? With great authority, the answer is yes, and they lead by 14.
Just when we have a look at this lead from Walker, this team-first football says if you've got a midfielder or a half-forward coming back into space like Armfield was, you vacate, let him take an uncontested mark. I'm not sure whether Walker had to lead up there. He saw Armfield coming back in a really good hole. I think the logic says just separate and allow that to be an uncontested mark. And in the end, it worked out okay, but it could have been a mini disaster.
It's one of those ones, I reckon, Kingy, it's like in your nature. You get drawn to where you think the player with the ball is going to kick it, and then he tries to hold off it a bit at the end, but it's in your nature to actually lead when they're streaming forward like that. The face of footy's changed, there's no doubt about that, because of the numbers we get behind play.
Rockcliffe kicks to centre half forward, and Brisbane need to take one of their chances. That was brilliant systematic play. They've cut their way through, and Green just has to go, and he does. Just trims the margin back to 8.
Well, they played the best footy of this match in the first 12 minutes. And then you'd have to say Carlton have held sway since then, but they haven't been put away. They're 8 points down, with Carlton playing most of the superior football so far.
Even so, Jim, they've had 14 scoring shots to 12,
Yeah.
but they've had more shots at goal.
Yeah, but they got 6. They had 8 in the first quarter.
So Green's first.
I like their clearance spread, Hutto, at the moment. We asked for those younger players, the second-tier players, to step up and go past Simon Black. And you can see Rockcliffe 4, Rich and Redden 4 clearances at this stage.
Carazzo got it through somehow to Robertson, who releases it deep and wide. Patfull there. Made sure that wasn't going to amount to anything.
That's a better size and shape matchup
Walker.
for Brisbane's defensive unit.
So margin is 8. It's in a dangerous position though. Betts was looking for it. Hudson stripped of it by Cruiser. Tried to barge his way through, but Merritt knows how to use those tactics, and if anything, more effectively. Now Yo takes it from the Leicester kick.
This is the first time I've seen Tom Bell play, and he's been big and he charges at it. That's safe. But he's also got to accept it coming back the other way. Merritt ran at him then, and he wasn't prepared to put the arms out and tackle. He tried to bump.
Rockcliffe kicked it up to half-back. Still might end up okay. Adcock, Tui underneath it, Buick. Both fully committed. Adcock a fumble. Curnow worked his way through. McLean instant give to Carazzo. Now the give back from McGuinness. Each handball with an element of danger, so they haven't worked themselves clear. Now, well, still not quite yet. Scotland summed it up off the left. Kicked it out, well, kicked it into, again, no man's land. Made Bell go after it and go fetch, and that's what he was happy to do. Handball to Betts. He runs the gauntlet to Zeddy and forced to give it back up. And now the kick out was a good release kick. And the mark taken by Lyle, so Leicester doing a good job back there. Goes short into Hudson.
Yeah, I've really wanted to get a look at Tom Bell. I've only seen him on TV. You get a better perception when you hear just what he does. Don't think there's a lot of thought that goes into his footy at the moment. He'll get better. He's running straight line. He charges out. That's all you can ask from a young kid that size, 187, 95 kilos. It doesn't look like he's got a big trick book, but he'll start to learn. Calculated
Kick from Adcock was good to Polkinghorne. And there's pace in this, and there's meaning, and there's run, and Yo showing us what he can do. Kicks to half forward, just, well, not chopped off completely. Brown, opportunity inboard, not perfect for Banfield. Now he's earned himself one, though. Just got a little tiny bit of contact.
Well,
it's Yaron.
Yeah, it was Yaron, Hutto. And he's got to be better than that. If he's going to break into the elite bracket of the competition, he just needs to be more calculated in what he does in these sort of contests.
Gee, his hands have been poor tonight, Banfield, too, on the flip side. That's the third. That was the toughest of them.
Yeah.
But that's the third pure fumble. If you can have a pure fumble, if you know what I mean. A true fumble, yeah.
Just his 12th game for the year. Spent a lot of time out of favour this year. His kicking a goal hasn't always been great. That's not going to quite make it, which would be a very disappointing result. And another behind goes Brisbane's way. That's 11 for the night. 4-11-35 Brisbane. 7 points behind Carlton, who are 6-6-42. 3 pretty important minutes to go before the main break.
Well, Carlton don't have to change any of their defensive strategies if these second-tier forwards keep missing their opportunities.
Yaron has a quick glance behind. He liked what he saw. He didn't work the angle very well at all. Gave Adcock an opportunity to get a fist in, which is something he's very familiar with. Zorko works the handball back. Lyle trying one on. Kick was smothered. Nice spinning move from Zorko. Only man back though playing the goalkeeper role was Bryce Gibbs, who goes short for Murphy. Just a flutter or two at the heart of the Carlton fans there. There's just that little bit of danger about it. McLean using Gibbs, breaking, pretty vacant through the middle. Wait, what a fist in. It was fantastic stuff from Patfull. Still might go Carlton's way. Gibbs again to regenerate another move forward. Again, they missed the target.
He'll go again, Gibbs.
Simpson delayed the kick to the genuine one-on-one. Young Wrigley trailing after Walker. Nice little scoop up in hand from Buick to get it back to Wrigley. And now a hurried kick short to Lyle. Lyle's got it at half-back, and he goes back into Redden, who's getting busy.
Still think Carlton are keeping Brisbane in this game by trying to play too aggressive every time they have an opportunity to fast break.
So the margin is 7.
Utilise this loose man a fraction more, Anthony, and they'll get some purer, deeper inside 50 inches.
Oh, there's a few out this side. Yeah, Hanley escaped, and with a bit of momentum, he might be able to land this one. Again, a little over-exuberant, and it's another behind. So it's back out of bounds on the full.
16, well, yeah, it doesn't go down as a scoring shot. That could have been the 16th scoring shot compared to Carlton's 12.
That's the difference, Dermy, when you see how slow and methodical they come out of their back line there. They used that spare man, got the overlap going, and they get a good solid shot breaking through the forward 50. This is what Carlton need to do. This is good. Just lateral use early until you can get a player into space and then change the speed of the game.
Scotland got it to Gibbs. They're working hard for him ahead, but there's really nothing on for him.
This is it. This is the way. Just take your time. You've got the extra man down there. There it is.
And White got it to Tui. He's got Cruiser at centre half-back. Took a long time to spot him.
Now Scotland.
And then he handballs instead with a run from behind from Tui. Waite's got 2 to counter and wasn't helped by the flight path of the footy coming in. So Merritt with the mark. 1:06. Let's see what they can build here. The lead is 7. One more goal either way could be quite telling when they go to the main break. Carlton have kicked 4-4 to 2-5 for the quarter. Back to Rains.
He can get a one-on-one if they, with Jonathan Brown, if he swung straight away. Too late now. Cruiser joins the party down the line. Cruiser, 3/4 screen on the right. He'll get to this one.
And it had to pitch first. So it's out of bounds, and we're down to 33 seconds in this first half. Just 10 goals scored in total. Cruiser playing in front of Lyle, got the tap down safely enough, but Redden, ricochet, sheer force of Robinson and Bell for Gibbs. They're going backwards, and I'm not sure they've got the time to do that. Now venturing forward, but again it's conservative. Walker to Murphy, great grave, 14 seconds, clock against here. Impetuous, he wanted to give, he kicks it forward. Betts is going to have to fall for him here. Just enough time for Eddie, but Wrigley got long arms and got in there, got the hands in to make a nuisance of himself. And so we get to half-time with a pretty intriguing situation here. 6-6-42 Carlton, 4-11-35 Brisbane. Some quick thoughts.
Well, I think the game at the moment is a real contest. We know that the scoreline tells us that, but Brisbane have had their opportunities. And again, it's that next level underneath Jonathan Brown that haven't forced Carlton to make any defensive changes. And I think that they've left an opportunity hanging here, the Brisbane Lions. They'll be disappointed to be 7 points down given the dominance they had at parts of the game. All
right, it is half-time here at Etihad Stadium. We're back shortly. The Blues lead by 7, but it's a contest. Stay with us. Etihad Stadium, Carlton's lead is 7 points. Hudson and Cruiser again. Crunch into each other. Brock McLean, Cruiser. They intersected half forward. Waite got some treatment. It was waved on by the umpire. Armfield delayed the give. Simpson off the left, guided it. And Walker just able to ease onto the mark on the lead. So it's a good start for Carlton.
Always fascinates me when they start Simon Black at half forward, and it is a challenge for this next tier of the Brisbane Lion midfielders to come through and assume the responsibility for their club. But I just think at the start of quarters it is great to have Simon Black in there for his leadership and his ball winning ability.
Andrew Walker hasn't played for 3 weeks after injury. In his 9th season now. 12 goals, 8 for the season coming in tonight, and that one just didn't quite do enough. It's away to the left.
One of the things I've really liked about Jared Waite tonight, he's only got the 2 possessions. He's 2 clean hands on one occasion. We saw him out in this wing in front of us. That contest he went for, then he got really good elevation when he jumped at the footy. So the body, to me, looking on from this distance, it looks like he's fit and athletic, and he's going to jump at the footy. So that's a great thing.
Second up, of course, which sometimes can be tough.
Yep.
McLean tried to wander through, and he did to some degree. Scotland and Cruiser, they need one clean get, and they got it. Couldn't be in better hands. Yaron forced to give it up to Armfield, and then stretching out Simpson. They come from all angles. He's smart enough to find his way through. Gibbs decides to go off the right, gives it plenty, had to. It's a big, big roost. It's a goal. What a way to start the term. It wasn't a perfect build-up, was it? But Gibbs took the chance.
At least it was like what Kingy says in basketball, at the top of the key. Just throwing the ball around the top of the key until you find your opening, and then you make your break for it. And Bryce Gibbs saw the opening here. He sidestepped Polkinghorne. Polkinghorne really had to stay on his inside and just keep forcing him out onto the left, because really, if you're a backman, you're going to force him to the boundary from that position as well anyway.
Well, you compared it to basketball, it was like a big team-lifting three-pointer, wasn't it, from Bryce Gibbs? 14 points the margin now. And he's had 14 disposals for the night as well. Cruiser got it down to Murphy with some help from Carrazza. They escape the clutches, kick it into the 50. Wandering ball again. Got through the cracks all the way to the back. Tapped that to the advantage of Walker. Casbolt goes again. Good tackling. Garlett just couldn't get enough work onto the ball.
It's another centre clearance of Brisbane Lions have lost without Simon Black in the middle. And I think at times you have to coach to protect the scoreboard a little bit. And it's early stages. It's only 15 points right now. But Simon Black, if he's to be out on the field, they need him in the middle.
I just get the feeling that perhaps the medical staff are having a say in how much time Simon Black has in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Scotland.
In terms of what they call their loadings and the likes. Not as if he's injured or anything like that.
Guarding, that was a promising lead from Jared Waite. Just couldn't complete the job, as we said. Just working hard, and like the look of the body, the way that's going to him, but just can't quite clunk him at the moment.
And there's a bit of attention given to Daniel Rich here. Not his best effort to stand in the hole and accept some contact. Goes to ground, goes low. In the end, he could have been seriously hurt.
Hudson, Carlton fans baying for blood. Garlett was sneaky with the handball. Tui to the top. Cleared Polkinghorne. Walker came just a little too hard. Polkinghorne was able to retrieve the situation. Now this is Green galloping away from halfback. Buick again, still working hard. Yaron had to spoil. Cleared all comers. Curnow fumbled inopportune moment, but he had some space. A little bit of forgiveness for him. Nice kick from Watson. That's a strong point, obviously. Armfield, good link in the chain. Could have gone to Bell.
You see in the middle of the ground there, Anthony, there were 5 Brisbane players. See there? They exit now.
I heard the call there. Gave Mitch Robertson on his own, waving the arms around at half forward. He's still on his own. The crowd, it's just trying to let the Carlton players know that he's there. He's been there for an eternity, and he finally takes the mark, and the crowd almost with some Bronx cheers to say, it took you a while, boys, but you've finally got there. Garlett spilled. Could be to his advantage in the end with a rush kick, but not so.
Anthony, I reckon that's because at halftime, Brett Ratton said, we've got to play slower.
Yep.
We've got to play a more controlled game and draw their loose man out. Now, they didn't score, but the method with what they did was very effective.
She's been good, that kid.
Yeah, Buick getting industrious again. Got it back from Green. And then onto the left. Posting up Harwood. Almost could have been a free to Redden. Didn't take the mark either, so the ball's still in flow, and that's Scott holding the ball.
So when they play controlled football, Carlton, it still allows them to keep their loose men behind the ball, and it allows them to defensively be really sound, like they were then. Unfortunately, Redden couldn't just drive that ball into the forward 50 because Carlton had 2 players back all alone.
Ryan Lester's he's wearing the wrong jumper to get a free kick for over the shoulder.
This ball got called back, boys, a couple of times. The Brisbane's reacted like they just didn't react. They're not working hard enough the other way.
Thanks, Dicko. Not trying to make any friends in Perth, Derm, obviously. As Murphy kicks it into the middle.
I've seen less high tackles go rewarded.
Carrazza. Oh, Betts claiming he got a hand to which he did. Must have been over the line.
Wasn't real convincing, the boundary umpire there. Wasn't 100% sure.
It doesn't really help us too much with that angle.
So Brown's down the line.
Watson to climb up over the top. Brown, as you said, here's White. Had to handball instantly just to try and get it out of trouble. Zorko wasn't tackled by Carazzo. That's to his advantage. Back with it, McGuinness. Didn't hesitate for a moment. Great grab, but now he can set up Gibbs, who's starting to create some moves forward. Armfield would have been the long target, but again, as Kingy said, that's the conservative, that's the correct way to go. Bell, now to Armfield. Walker's next cab off the rank if he wants him, and Cruz is also working hard into that pocket. Walker takes it on the 50, waits in the square. Betts is down there as well. The big guns are deep. Goes short, hard lead. Waite reacted well. Pat Fall will stay with him. Waite went for the free, didn't get it. Quick kick away, Merritt. Maybe they can reset here. Bit of urgency about the defence. Robinson thought it was going out. He paid himself a free. The umpire said that, no, you ain't got the whistle. Black, the architect of this move forward with that creative handball. And suddenly the kick from Rockcliffe is at half forward. Some urgency about Yaron. Got the handball away to White. Yaron's still there with him for support, and McGuinness cleared the path for Yaron to dash off half-back and drive to half-forward to Casbolt. The desperation stakes have been risen a notch or two here. Little handball from Yo back to Hanley. They work in tandem effectively. The kick to the wing good to Zorko. So Zorko, and here's Buick. He's got away again, and he drops the mark this time.
He'll get goal side.
Just let himself down a little. Yeah, Tui.
He's into his head now.
Well, they're out. If you can pick this ball up and go quickly, they've got players out.
Well, it was a wobbly old ball, wasn't it? Bell, a fumble, not a great time for them, but he's got good support. Scotland to Yaron, who can glide along the wing. Handball at the right time, no free kick. Play on the call. Murphy ridden into the ground by Rains.
This should be infuriating for Brett Ratton. He's just asked for more control out of their back half.
This could be worse if Murphy's hurt.
This is the problem. They're not playing to their strength, but gee, this is a big one. A shoulder again by the look of it.
Hold on. You're right, Mark. Okay, clear out. Run out. Just get to him in a second.
Maybe he was just winded or something. Hopefully.
Time back off.
Gave it a good test anyway, the left shoulder there.
Into McLean. Bell's calling for it at centre half forward. The kick was a drilling one to Armfield. There's through the corridor a short kick to a one-on-one really, so it was well executed, but it needed to be. Armfield deep. Again, Waite just quite getting the timing right. Walker tried to arch the back. Howard was stuck to his guns. Bell just couldn't quite get it all together there, Dan.
They're not sure on the line here.
Too tricky for the umpires.
Definite point here, boys.
Point, you reckon, Dicko?
Oh, no doubt about that. Just sitting behind it, just curled around. So I'm not quite sure why they're going to the boundary.
It's a big call for the debutant on the boundary line. Dicko, I hope he's right.
He's overruled.
Oh,
Dicko!
Oh, no.
Are you kidding me? My first error.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Was that review complete? Was that you, Brian? Okay.
So as you said, Dicko, out on the full, and the free kick goes the way of Hanley. Up to the wing, wipe the target, Cruises there, waits, yes, no!
That was a 4-on-2, that pack was 4-on-2.
And that'll lift the cough. There's some grasping onto, and Walker's a real threat, isn't he?
They're getting the game played the way they want to, Carlton. It's just a matter of them converting their opportunities, using their composure. They're far more experienced than this Brisbane Lions outfit, and they need to show it in the way they use the ball, not just the number of games written on a sheet. Just use the ball precisely and with some composure, and they'll put some scoreboard heat on here.
Can I redeem myself, boys, and say he won't miss this?
Oh, no.
At least you're having a crack, Dicko.
I'm nervous.
Pulled it.
Yeah, was that? Yeah, that's a behind.
You were damned if you did then, Dicko, and damned if you didn't. Where's he going to kick it, Dicko? Who'd he kick out to?
So Hanley into play, a whole bunch of lines at centre half back.
That's a good run.
Safely through to Leicester and then off to Rockcliffe. McGuinness, little way. Banfield's got out the back. He's got his running mate Green, but gee, the Blues defence. Oh, I was going to say they're right on the job at the moment, but that's close to being in the back or over the shoulder as well. Black, Rich, Oh, he went thundering into the turf. Gibbs, just the handball to Curnow. It's good forward pressure by Brisbane to lock it in. They had some chances themselves.
You dragged it in, Jonathan.
And Lyle sits 15 metres off the back of this pack here. Now you see this.
Thanks.
There's Lyle at the right-hand side of screen. Now Carlton will look to get out the back themselves, and it looks like Simpson out the back of this pack, so they'll feed backwards if they can get it.
High on.
Well, Raines, he twirls his way through as well. And the same decision from the umpire. Another ball up. 16 points the margin. So for all of Carlton's dominance in this quarter, they haven't really been able to get that reflected on the scoreboard. Rich. Sweating on it. Leicester, they converge. Oh, the non-controlling umpire is called high. Well, you could see how he was thinking that, but
He's the umpire who only had a front-on view of it. The controlling umpire, as you called, Hutto,
Good call.
is out the back behind. Is it Carazzo making that tackle? Yeah, he's out behind Carazzo, so he can't see that. So the further umpire away, non-controlling, had the face on view.
and had the angle. So we saw it all there. Leicester comes in, and that hurts Carlton. It's a good goal.
Can get sloppy on the tackle, Andrew Carazzo. He's up, and then he sort of sinks down a bit. Yeah, he bends the body down a bit. Ah, look, you got to pay that one. He's been clobbered. Nice finish though. Good strike.
It could be about accuracy this game.
That's one against the Tide for the Brisbane Lions. They've only had the ball 25 times to Carlton's 52 times in this third quarter.
They had trouble landing straight kicks in the first half, but that a crucial one. And it's back to 10. Rockcliffe found a way, and Leicester right in the thick of it again. Rich out of his square. Green, so they're gone small, and it's quite effective. It just finds the post. So Rich, Banfield and Green as that the big marking targets kicking.
Well, they just can't buy a snap at the moment, can they? Or a shot around goal. In goal, their conversion in play, if you like, is 2 goals 8, 20% in front of goal. So that's been the difference. It's only a 9-point lead to Carlton. They should be in front here, the Lions.
Scotland, Steadfast takes the mark in front of Zorko.
In saying that, Carlton have really lifted their intensity around the action this quarter.
Well, Carazzo was given the whistle by the umpire. Possibly there's a little bit of a duck involved, but the kick goes up just beyond the wing to Waite.
He's got good hang time when he's rising in the leap for the ball. He's not far off having a real effect.
Nothing doing for him in terms of really good long targets in the clear. So goes short for Armfield. A few more offers for him. Hard work from Murphy. That was bypassed. It's high and it's long. Cruz has just come back on the ground. Got in the thick of it. His recovery was outstanding. Sets up Garland, who speeds away to the left. That was brilliant stuff by the Blues. That's the sort of stuff that made the premiership favourites near the start of the season. Seems a long time ago now that they were the premiership favourites.
And a big group, much congestion at the fall of that ball. In the corridor, nothing. So when he runs to turn in the inboard, there's nobody there. Just a little bit of passing traffic. He can put a sidestep on from there, no problem. You have a look, just wide open in the corridor.
Have a look at Matty Cruiser there. Up against Merritt, Hudson and Patfull, and recovers cat-like on his feet and gets back involved. That's why we think he can be one of the elite players in the competition. Just his recovery and his follow-up skills. He's got some work to do in other areas, but that is first class.
And it's been the difference between the two sides, boys. At ground level, Carlton have just got more numbers there to obviously use the ball and get those little cheap goals.
Yo got back. Danger hasn't passed yet. No free to Adcock. Gallard pounced. Big kick. Oh, the hang time! Jared Waite, you picked it, dude. He's back. And he takes the mark in front of goal.
He didn't time it either.
No, but he managed to just stay until the ball arrived.
But when you don't time one kicking and it clunks and you kick a goal from it, you say, gee, I did that well.
He's good for you.
Crowd love the replay. They love it even more when it's threaded through the middle. Carlton lead by 21.
I think their premiership favourite status was lost, Hutto, when this man went missing through injury. Daniel Merritt was stuck in an awkward position there. He knew what was coming.
You watch, the right foot hits the ground, I reckon, before he marks it.
He was
For a screamer.
He's on the ground.
He's actually on the ground when he marks it. See, the timing is completely out. Copped a little bit of a craw across the face there as well.
It's a danger period now for the Lions.
Yeah.
They need to find something here. Next 10 minutes critical, not just for this match, but just their development as a whole.
Well, they're out again, dominating out of the middle. Walker gathered, thought about laying it off to Garlett. Makes his own way forward. They are streaming in towards goal and lining up. And good hard stuff done by Brock McLean.
I think they're an exceptionally dangerous team when the mini roll comes on. They can turn it into a big roll on very smartly.
Decides to pass into the pocket.
Go.
Carazzo, time to steady, time to line it up and kick another goal to the Blues. They are rolling now.
And the reason being, I reckon they're great. Real supreme efforts, gut-busting run happens when they see the prize on the end of the carrot dangling there in front of them. I'd love to see them actually work a little bit harder when they don't have it, but gee, when they see a prize to hit the scoreboard on their terms, they'll get on the roll and get on the end of it.
And you know where they're getting on a roll, Durham, because their midfielders are getting forward. Brock McLean to Mark Carazzo, as you said, kicking goals. That's danger signs for Brisbane.
Yep.
And you know too, because the crowd start to make that noise. The Blue Bagger fans are up and about suddenly at Etihad Stadium, all thumping through Robertson. Terrific commitment. The release handball was good too from Curnow. Gibbs has played his part. McLean, now Robinson delayed the kick, waited for something on offer. Walker's been important too in their return. Big kick for Casbolt perhaps. He comes now and can't quite take it. Well done, Merritt. It's over and out. Suddenly it's all coming together for the Blues. They lead by 27 points. Deep in attack, vacant goal square here. Cruiser comes as the extra. Over the top, Walker. Garlett had a quick glance over the shoulder. And the kick was not quite where he intended. Adcock on that last line. Oh, what a kick. He's setting up Daniel Rich.
Well, that'll hurt too.
They were lining up the Blues. Tui found his own way through. Carazzo has another look at them. One from one side and not quite from the other.
Danger signs. Danger signs. They're just winning every 50-50 ball. And in fact, Brisbane are crueling themselves with some of their ball use. You can see contested possessions in this third term, 28-13, and it's 12-4 in the last 10 minutes. They're right on top here, Carlton. Just Brisbane need to slow this game down.
Well, here's Zorko, but Scotland, their prowess in the air, not paid this time. Total disposals this quarter, 75-32. Bit of a nonchalant give there from Watson. Back to Simpson and then McLean. They have controlled the ball, as you said, just haven't rushed things in this term, and hasn't it paid some dividends for them? They come again, Walker from behind, and that won't be paid Carlton's way.
There is one aspect which has really concerned me about Brisbane Lions, and that is when the ball's been kicked out from a tap on the boot play on after a behind or so, they kick it and it's about 75 metres out from their goal. They nearly always kick it to Carlton's advantage, a 4-on-3 or a 5-on-4. When you take the shot yourself, you should put it to advantage. Go short, go side, whatever. Don't kick it to where you're outnumbered, and they've kept doing that.
Murphy had time to really size things up, kicked it high, and Casbolt was a big, strong target, and Hanley couldn't get around him. You were talking about that earlier, guys, that Casbolt, the size of the body and the way he angled it, and it was there again.
This is your field, but he just gets big when the ball arrives and makes it impossible to get a fist in there or even a body spoil because he's such a presence. They've waited such a long time for this guy to show this sort of form.
But you also see the kick.
It's
a 25-metre pass that he hung 30 metres in the air, or 20 metres in the air. It's a lob wedge to give it to the advantage to the big fella because he had a 6'1" backman on him.
And you can see it was a relatively simple shot, but
yeah, not a good finish. Now let's have a look at this Brisbane kick in. The best they can possibly muster when they get the ball 70 metres away from goal is an even numbers contest. They're going to go for a one-on-one, a short pass here. This kick is ending up going to a target, which will be, Hudson and one other against 3 or 4 Carlton players.
Brown comes to lend a hand from the Wrigley kick. Here's White trying to forge a way through, but it's out of bounds.
It's an honest way of playing, and it forces your teammates to go to the contest and scrap it out.
But it's hard yards, isn't it?
It's real hard footy.
Black and Carrazzo scrounging for it with Bell. Rich comes in to join the party. And another ball up to take place on the wing. 10-11-71 Carlton, 5-12-42 Brisbane. The Blues taking command. If you've just joined us in this third term, they've kicked 4-5 to 1-1, and they look likely. Carrazzo, that's a throw. The umpire right on the spot there, Jeff Dalglish, pays the free Redden's way. He was prominent in the first half, just his second disposal in the third quarter. Rockcliffe has had a little more of it in this term. He's having his 4th now. Low ball, loping after Jonathan Brown. Took all the energy he could muster.
I feel for Jonathan Brown. He's getting space, he's getting opportunity. He hasn't had a possession or a disposal in this third term, nor to Daniel Rich, who's been well clamped. Simon Black just the one. There's their stars. 6 marks inside the forward 50 at Carlton's end, and they can't buy one at the Brisbane end this term.
Another triple effort from Cruiser. Ducked the head, but no advantage. The umpire there seeing that Carrazzo was going to be tagged. So it's coming back to Heath Scotland.
Carrazzo chose to play on then, and isn't it up to the player now to select?
Well, it is. That's interesting because the umpire could see that he was going to get caught straight away.
Said no advantage. He took the decision away from Carrazzo.
Yeah, it's a good call, Derm, I think. Yeo leaves it behind. Betts tries to shimmy and shake his way through. He got there effectively enough. In the end, it was just a little bit of a fumble from Yaron. Goes back, though, with an ugly-looking kick. Lyle did well to...
Well, so Brisbane can't hurt them on the counter-attack now. From here, there should be somebody up the middle. As we go.
Yep.
Yeah, Redden gets on. They haven't been able to hurt Carlton on the counter-attack here. Now, a good team coming up this line, they put them away.
Gives it to Brown, who should be able to do it here.
That's been threatening to happen for about 80 minutes. He's just physically worked wide. He's put him to the sword 3 and 4 times. He's a big body, just pushes off, but prior to his lead, just pinches 2 or 3 metres, and that's the critical 2 or 3 metres you need.
Gone back for the Michael Holding run up again, Brownie.
So Jonathan Brown, 34-17 coming in tonight. 4 goals, 3 goals and 1 in the last 3 weeks. 4-3 last week, in fact. And here he is after an early goal for his second. It just looks a little lame. There's only one man back. And the mark not paid, so it's through for a behind.
See, he kicks from 50 now. I can't understand why you wouldn't have at least
a teammate back.
One bloke on the line.
Yep.
If he stubbed his toe, he wouldn't be the first player or even elite player to do so.
Carrazzo goes to Robinson, had to go against 2. He knew he could get it out the other side, they're away, and he did. Armfield to Murphy, works the angles beautifully. Betts hits it hard. He's got Garlett breaking back to the square. Armfield came again. Garlett's still there as an option. He might go for Hono, goes for Garlett. Wade arrives as well, and amongst all the confusion, Garlett knew where the footy was, and now we do too. It's through for another goal.
Have to get a look at this from the replay to see where it looked like Waite was the contest player who ended up making sure that it didn't get a Brisbane mark on the end of it. So yeah, he's led up and come back. He's drawn 2 players to that aerial contest, which allows Garlett, who probably thought, I'm going to have to go for this in the air, and in the end he stays down to his advantage.
want to ask Ben Dixon at ground level, do you feel like the Brisbane Lions have dropped away with their work rate just late in this third term?
Oh, no doubt about that, King. In terms of the work rate, like we know Carlton were up and about at the start of the quarter, got the goals on the board, the crowd were up and about, but Dermott just touched on Jonathan Brown's just last shot at goal. No tall men on the last line. I mean, that's a work rate thing. Hudson was on the far wing setting up for a zone, so I'm not sure that was a confidence thing or a work rate thing, and Jared Lyle was off, but clearly dropped off even when you see on the spread.
More than 60 more disposals this quarter.
Yeah, and more than a doubling in contested possessions, 37 to 16, 5-5 to 1-2 in this third quarter.
Brown forced to come up to the 70 to get it this time. Works Polkinghorne into it and along the line. Banfield tries to cut his way through, and that's, well, it wasn't bad vision, but he wasn't the only one who saw it. That was the problem. Casbolt was onto it as well. Simpson and the releases there for the Blues. Betts was tagged ahead, so that's the decision to handball to Scotland. Put back onto the back foot. Just a minor victory there for Brisbane, but
that's the coaching at half-time, Hutto.
Yep.
Brett Ratton said, let's not go forward at 100 miles an hour. Let's take our time and force Brisbane to defend every play.
They're still very tired, Brisbane. You can see that. Big kick for Waite. Merritt went to ground. That's not ideal. The last men standing were all Carlton. Armfield across to Betts, and you can chalk up another one of the Blues.
We had the footage from the boundary line camera about 6 or 7 minutes, and you could see Eddie sitting on the bench. He was standing on the bench down near you, Dicko, and you could see him thinking, oh, let me cash in. I've got to cash in here.
No doubt about that. Goalless last week, and as I said, confidence player. Once he's up and about, he can just catch fire, and he's loving it at the moment, no doubt. Dermy, he was itching to get on, but geez, he's getting the reward tonight. Working hard, his defensive work's been outstanding, and as he said, capitalising on the scoreboard.
Plenty of love for the Blues now. 6 goals, 5 to 1-2. It's been a domination in this third term. 3 goals for Eddie. King.
People always talk about Brett Ratton, his ability to coach. Is he a good coach? Is he a great coach? Where does he sit? 6-5 in this third term, and I think largely because of his ability to recognise that they were playing too fast in the first half. They've cashed in from his message of slow the game down off half-back, force Brisbane to come and play our game, and then let's hurt them.
Well, for the first time in the game, the first 2 quarters, they were around 61 and 64% kicking efficiency. They're now at 73.
They're finding holes at will now. Kick from Simpson to half forward. Again, everyone's full of enthusiasm for the Blues. Waite back to McLean. Another low ball for Betts. Got 3 already. Brings it in. Happy to share the love. And Cruiser takes the mark directly in front.
That's 19 inside 50s for the term. And they're marking the ball every time they're going in at the moment. That's the big problem. The dam's burst in a defensive sense for the Brisbane Lions. For the quarter, the third term alone, that is 8 marks inside their forward 50.
So not much of an angle to deal with here, as we said. The distance not an issue. He has gone back a long way. And those probability stats for the last 10 years or so in AFL footy to give you the guide as whether he's likely to kick it or not.
Helicopter.
It's a beauty. Not quite how he planned, but it's the right result. A little bit of the president about the kick, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, Sticks. Oh,
he loves it when we bring that up.
Yeah, doesn't he? Well, if he kicked... What did he kick in the end? Sticks going there. 600-700 goals. He was way up there. And he probably got 50% were helicopters, muckers.
50%.
I tell you what, he could play, though. One of the all-time greats. Oh, he lets the ball start to move around a little bit differently from how he holds it in the hand. That slow motion is a good illustration. It strikes the boot in a little bit different shape to how he lets it go.
738 goals, I think it was,
there you go, 700. Oh, well, let's say he got 200 skew ifs.
He wasn't a bad player.
Wasn't a bad player.
Not getting involved here. He lives around the corner. This is a powerful quarter. 7 goals, 5 for the term. And I think it highlights to me when you see the impact of the players that Carlton have missed for large periods of the year.
Yeah.
Now, Waite, Murphy, Carazzo, these players have been out for portions of the year.
Can't help thinking what might have been for the Blues in 2012, and they're still in the fight for September. If they can post a big win tonight, that'll certainly help their cause. They kicked 7-5 to 1-2 for that third term to take control. They lead by 46 points at the last break here. All their guns have started the fire.
Future, and I think that Daniel Rich is one player that could really go forward and become one of the elite players in the competition. Dicko, I know you've been watching him closely at ground level all night. What's your assessment?
Well, early days, Ed Curnow picked him up, kept him pretty quiet. One thing about him, you know he's got a dominant left foot, so we talked about that last quarter, at the third quarter for the Brisbane Lions, how shallow those entries were. A guy like that with a lethal left foot needs to get forward, obviously get it nice and deep into those big, tall forwards, but I just think, you know, he can kick goals. He's been a proven goal kicker before. Why not put him down there and obviously throw a bit of liveliness up forward?
That was the hole. Just the little arm around for a microsecond.
Gee, not much in that.
He's had a
bit going on there, though.
Yeah, that was down the other end of the ground.
Who would have thought Mitch would be involved in that?
Just out of a little bit of niggle between Harwood and Mitch Robinson. Yeah, a little bit of it.
Quite a bit of niggle.
Jumper punch over the top.
Nice.
Oh, David. Kingy.
Here's Jonathan Brown.
Boys, Carlton have activated their sub. Eddie Betts has been subbed out of the game, and Reece O'Keefe is on.
How'd that go down with Eddie Betts?
Not great, but...
I reckon Eddie's one of these guys that he believes that every ball that goes in, and that's the way he should be as a forward, every ball that goes into the forward line is an opportunity for Eddie to score.
Well, he's got 3 goals, 1 to his name, so I'm not surprised that he wouldn't like to have stayed out there for another quarter. They've been keen to get O'Keefe into the team. He's had a lot of injury this year.
You don't think averages either as a forward. When you're on a roll like this against a team, you don't think, well, I've got 3 for 3 quarters, I get 1. You say, the method with which I've got 3, I can double that in quick time.
Great to get an inside into the forwards from the gun from the Hawks. Here's Simpson on that left. Up to half forward, high ball. Robinson well behind Patfull. Did well to impact it, but then he stopped. And the Lions just looked like they've been given a bit of a burst, I reckon, by their coach at 3/4 time.
He can't chase Mitch Robinson. He's been wrestling too much. He ever wrestle, it's a 100% max effort. He can't run at the moment, Mitch Robinson.
Waits free in the goal square.
Brisbane have activated their sub 2, boys. Clay Beams is in and Todd Banfield is out.
Hard lead from Jared Waite. As you said, he came hard out of the goal square.
And Mitch Robinson, he's still walking where he was. He's going to come to the bench, I reckon.
Yeah, he's struggling, isn't he?
Yeah.
So Waite almost in the crowd. Delicate little operation for Casbolt.
And he had a fair bit of the last shot he had at goal in the 3rd quarter. The ball, as he watches it go away from him, has right to left, like the old Dennis Lilly outswinger. So this is a very tough kick. He'll have to kick it across.
And he does. Beautifully. What a goal from Levi Casbolt. And Carlton lead by 45.
Get a look at this again. Yeah, with the way he naturally swung that last kick at the other end, couldn't kick anything but hold the ball crossways. A banana kick. Let's have a look at it. Gee, that's unusual, isn't it? Fingers pointing upwards as he drops it.
Dropped it from the shoulder height too, Durham.
Yeah.
Cut it out. Andrew, you instigated it. No elbows. Don't throw the elbows around.
Andrew Rains was on the receiving end there from the umpire.
Murphy deep in attack at the moment. Meanwhile, back in the centre, Redden comes striding out of the middle. Fantastic delivery for Jonathan Brown.
There's his face.
Trademark, courageous tumbling mark.
That's been an issue, Hutto. Their work out of the middle has been terrific tonight. Centre, this will be goal number 3.
That hurt.
If Jonathan is coming off of the blood rule, I think. He wants the goal.
Yeah. Imagine telling a young Jonathan Brown,
As a forward, Durham, take us in the mindset of taking a mark 25 metres out from goal directly in front and being told you can't take the shot.
Yeah, he'll go back and say, look at it, mate, it's not running. And he'll argue the point, yeah. Oh, you never want...
Number 6 is the closest player.
So he was the closest, Josh Green. He's now the furthest away. Vossi's not too impressed.
You can tell when a player's inexperienced like Josh Green, there's a goal up for grabs and he made his way to the goal square. He'll learn from that error. He'll hang around in future.
You know what? He'll be in and out of the team a few times, and that's what'll teach him to get closer when there's one on offer and there's a little skunky one to be handed out.
He's kicked one goal 3 tonight. So he's not in the best of kicking form in front of the big sticks.
But he's due.
He is. It's a goal. It's back to 39.
Yeah. It's been good, Tom Redden. That's a good clearance. Oh, gathered it. Yeah, he doesn't care about his head. John Kennedy Sr. would love Jonathan Brown. There's no injuries above the neck. That's the way he treats it.
So Brown. The big Lion skipper has 2 goals too, and he's given one.
Believe it or not.
Is that an assist for Brown or not?
Yes, it
Believe
is.
it or not, that's hemorrhoid cream. It contracts the blood vessels so they don't bleed as much. I've been told. Don't look at me like that, don't they?
That's a win for Carlton. That centre clearance there. I'll go back to the game, Dirk.
we do like insight from our commentators, but
it's true.
That's analysis of the deepest level. 3 centre clearances in a row there for Brisbane, and they'd kicked 2 goals, 1. That was a win, a repeat stoppage there for Carlton.
And now it's in Curnow's hands. And he kicks it almost to the roof. Wait, good spoil from Patfull. Good diligent stuff. Redden dumped it to Adcock. Good ball movement here.
This is where they get turned over, though.
Leicester maybe one too many handballs. It gets through to Rockcliffe. He was going to be dictated by the bats. Beams is the sub, and he's come on, and sprightly gets to his feet and puts it through. Well done.
Hits the ball hard by foot, just like his brother, doesn't he? Not quite as big a unit. When he kicks it, that stays thumped. That's a good strike right on the end there. Yeah, I was worried that they're going to get it turned over again. You see there's 8 Carlton players running through the centre of the square. They just couldn't get a fix on them. Yeah, a little bit of tail in there on the end. Well done. They need to put a little bit back on the scoreboard here. They can't allow themselves to be blown away completely.
Just an injury update down here, boys. The 2 guys we subbed off, Todd Banfield and Eddie Betts, both have calves.
How's Brownie's forehead going down there, Dicko?
Yeah, he's got plenty of your cream on his forehead there, Durham. But he's ready to come back on.
3 goals to 1 in Brisbane's favour. So Gibbs gets busy trying to do something about it. That's for the term. Armfield servicing Simpson. Weighted pass. Cruiser trying to work hard, but Merritt's a hard man to get around. He lays a tackle, but shrugs that off. Good defence by the Lions fullback. Back for Armfield from Walker, so it's play on no matter what happens. Falls to Cruiser, rolls reverse there. The big ruckman kicks a wonderful goal. And as we talked about earlier, it's that side of the game which proves his value, I guess, to the team.
He's a wonderful scrapper, isn't he? You look at him, he missed that tackle, but he had a go at it. He sort of hobbles back out. Everybody tends to believe that he's not 100% fit. He gets back to where he thinks the ball's dropping to 2 steps. The play. Just wonderful competitor, isn't he?
Back to 39. 3 goals, 1 to 2 straight in 9 minutes of very active footy in the last term. Lyle. Beams. Can't find the escape valve this time. Curnow locks it in. Holding the ball, in fact. Simpson scoots past on the wrong boot. We don't see that too often. Couldn't hit the weight target. Armfield and Adcock. Armfield's won plenty of those struggles tonight. Bit of tunnel ball action. Out the back, it's still alive. O'Keefe, as we said, he's the activated sub for the Blues.
I think to become a premiership team, you have to have some ruthlessness to your play and the way you finish games.
No doubt.
39-point margin at this stage. Carlton should be looking to win this by 60+. They just have to have that mindset of crushing teams, not just limping to the line in soft kills.
The percentage started at 103 tonight, so they'll be hoping to maximise the advantage there as well. Robinson again doesn't have much regard for his teammates sometimes. Wrigley back to the middle of Zorko, somehow got it to Rich, sees off McGuinness. Inside out kick, more outside than in as it turned out. Yaron gets the skates on, it's almost to the line. Now that's...
Darren Glass would be watching in Perth at the moment saying, well, why isn't that so? It's Mitchy Robinson, let's have a look at him. Oh, yeah. Got a few bristles off the top of Big Sauce's head in his own cheek.
Casbolt down to Murphy, and that is pretty close to holding the ball. It's very close to holding the ball. Rains will have the footy inside the 50.
Could be 50 metres if he doesn't give this back in a hurry.
And I think he was just realised that.
Tackle.
Trying to make the touchdown or the try there. So Rains. It's across the face. Lyle's there. And so was Brown. Behind on the board. Yaron. All the long targets were covered. This is Gibbs. He's been a good player for them tonight, Bryce Gibbs. Some hesitation, but he decides that he can take care of Brown. Just had to hack the kick out a little bit, which means it hung in the air for a while. Black got there first, but he couldn't take the grab either.
Well, this style of game will suit Bryce Gibbs because Michael Voss likes to get an extra number back. It's not so much an assisting player in the spoil, but it's a player to run the ball out, one that occupies space, which means Carlton have to have one extra at the other end, and that's Bryce Gibbs. He loves that.
Masterful stuff from Yaron. Let's see how far he runs. He got it up to Armfield and looked back to see if Yaron was still going. He'd stopped, so they need reinforcements from behind. Gibbs bounced, paused, because there was nothing for him long. There still isn't. He might have to go it alone. No, that was not enough. Garlick kicks where Gibbs didn't want to. Wade will have to try and get there against three. He collected a couple on the way through. The mark was paid anyway. Beams may have interfered with him, but Brisbane had the numbers, so they probably deserved the footy.
But see, the thing with Beams, and he was at least running at the footy. He wasn't using the shepherding technique that Garlick did earlier. You've got to give the umpire a reason not to pay the free kick. And he ran out the back of the footy. You could argue that he was going to crumb it. Oh, that's not good.
That was not Merritt's finest moment. And Garlick around the corner. Walker lost traction. Play on the call. Blues fans didn't like it too much. Wrigley onto the left. Another gift. Goes back to Yaron and into Gibbs.
And Big Cruz is going to get on the end of this inside 50 if he spots him.
Gibbs wanting to handball because Murphy had the face to goal. And he can hit up a target in Bell.
Just lose their patience every now and then, Carlton. They really do. They want to play at this breakneck speed. And it has suited their game over the last 3 or 4 years. But with the modern tactics of closing space so quick, the turnovers being so costly, just need to remain more composed, especially forward of centre.
So here's Bell.
He doesn't want to take a shot. He's looking elsewhere.
Oh, it's working its way back. And it's a goal from Bell. He will next time, Dern.
The big wide open stance, the celebration mode where he showed the stand. That was almost, I think I kicked that. Good on the kid. That's, as I said, to the naked eye, it's the first time I've seen him. A lot of people have alerted me to him about his size, his strength. 6'1½", 6'2", 15 stone.
21-year-old promoted rookie from Morningside in Queensland, Tom Bell. Got a bit of the cult figure about him, the way he goes about it. As we look at the live ladder, Carlton have increased their percentage, so they'll rejoin St Kilda on 40 points. Big game for Essendon tomorrow and North Melbourne. The loser there will be not too far away from Carlton and the chasing pack.
And what about the game next week with Carlton and
Essendon with Jack back. Blues clicking into gear. Yaron, one of their prime movers. To mark or downfield, I think. Casbolt took the grab, and he'll go back and thread another one.
That's the Chris Yaron puzzle. I know he's an elite kicker off half-back. As soon as they can get this guy into the midfield and then lift his possession rate from 12, which he's on at the moment, through to 20-25.
Casbolt finishes it off. Carlton have now kicked 4 goals to 3 in the last.
The worry with that, Kingy, is yes, he is elite, and he carries on here. He's run from the back of the square here, and he thumps that in. It's a beautiful kick. Can he handle the heat that an elite ball user will get in the midfield?
It's a good question, Derm. Can he handle the heat of being an elite midfielder? But this is what happens when he gets the ball. 17 marks inside forward 50 to Carlton. Just that quality coming in is the difference. In a game like this, Yaron with 20 touches would nearly be best on ground.
Yeah, I love him off the back flank. Even when he gets tagged, he can still outpace the opponent on a hard tag. And he's found it tough on occasions. But put him in deep traffic, in real deep traffic, that's when I'd start to say, well, I need to see something which I haven't seen from him before. Composure in traffic and utilising that pace with composure while there's bodies everywhere around you. Bigger bodies too, bigger bodies that hurt.
Jonathan Brown only knows one way, no matter what the circumstance. It's a good lesson night for Simon White too, isn't it, to play on someone like Jonathan Brown?
He's been fantastic, Jonathan Brown, even though his disposals at the end of the game will read pretty ordinary and pretty poor and won't be highlighted as one of his better games, but he's been out so many times tonight.
He's going to have a sandpapered forehead.
Well, the curator won't be all that happy either with him. I mean, they'll have the sand buckets out there, won't they, after the game?
There'll be questions asked when he gets home to, is it Rails? I mean,
no, Rails.
No, that's Dougie's.
It's Kyle's.
Kyle's. She'll be asking about the gravel rash on his forehead. What are you doing down there?
I'd have to ask him, Derm, but I'm pretty sure it's Kyle's, not Rails.
Hello to Dougie as well.
Now, nice little manoeuvre to get them through from Carazzo, and then Tui, and then Gibbs, and then Curnow, and then Murphy. Maybe just overdoing it a fraction there. And poor old Murphy, who's been pinged already once in this quarter, might have gone again then.
I tell you what, Beams has added a little bit of sauce into the mix since he's been subbed in at three-quarter time. Dicko, you called it. 3 contested possessions. He's laid a crunching tackle then. 6 possessions himself. He's getting about.
No doubt about that. He's fanatical. He's hungry. He's run up and down on the boundary line, just obviously champing at the bit to get on. And he's got his opportunity, and he wants to show his worth.
Well, remember, he started the season as the NAB Rising Star nomination of round 1. Played the first 3 games of the year and has only played 1 other in round 15 until tonight. McLean delayed the give. Eventually Simpson. Redden not giving up easily. Black. And somehow it's back to Redden. And now Harwood. It looks like he means business, doesn't it, as he strides into goal. But he misses everything. Back to defence.
I marvel at the effectiveness of Andrew Carazzo. He's had 27 disposals, 12 score involvements. He's just such an important piece in the Blues' make-up in their midfield, isn't he?
He's a much better player than I thought.
Yeah. I think he's surprised everyone with his career, really.
Well, that's going to hurt too.
And he recruited from Geelong as a rookie. Couldn't get a look in down there.
I tell you what, that Rock McLean's been dumped there by Tommy Redden. Redden and Rockcliffe are very good players, but don't they try and hurt the opposition as well? They're nasty little pieces of work. When this team grows...
You would admire that, wouldn't you, Dad?
Oh, well, gee, you prefer to play with the blokes who try and hurt the opposition than be against them.
Good to see Simpson back into full stride tonight too. Missed those 3 weeks.
This is that patience again, Hutto, that we've spoken about. No need to rush, no need to go too fast. Just take your time, utilise the extra man down back.
Not the best of kicks from Watson. for Gibbs, who, well, not sure he's doing enough there. I reckon he had possession.
Yeah, Murphy knows too.
Yeah,
Murphy knew that he was done, so he tried to wrench it free so this free kick wouldn't eventuate. Yeah, he tried to outplay him when it got to this stage.
He's a bit unlucky.
Yeah, but he sat over it and was pulled in. See, Murphy came in and tried to wrench it free. He knew what the umpire was thinking.
Had a good night, Bryce. He's had a good night. 30 disposals tonight. It's as good as I've seen him play for quite a while.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Game's on his terms, the way it's played tonight, which, well, you can only play against the opposition they put up against you, and if they don't put one on him, he's going to love it.
So Rich to come in and try and deliver one for the Lions, and he's missed everything as well. Radar well off. 4 goals straight Carlton for the quarter, 3 goals, 3 for Brisbane. Not much joy for Michael Voss in the end tonight.
Tommy Rockliff's an interesting one to talk about. 4 contested possessions tonight.
Yet he's a good contested possession player.
Yet he's potentially an elite player in the competition. He's the best and fairest winner.
There he is.
There he is there. Can play at full forward, can play in the true midfield. A disappointing night from Tom, and you just hope he can go on and finish the year off, because Brisbane really need him playing their best football. If he's playing their best, they don't get beaten by 50 points.
Interesting those stats, that big Hutto on screen there. The #1 boundary line throw-in ruckman in the comp, Ben Hudson, who was almost lost to footy. They almost gave him away completely.
Here's Robinson with a one-on-one with Howard. A couple of hard nuts there. Robinson, is he doing enough? And the ball dislodged in the end, so it's Armfield's turn, and Adcock. Oh, he goes in again. Howard put the head down.
Well done.
Yeah, it was well played.
Yeah, great attack, great endeavour. More often than not, you'll be rewarded.
Not certain the free kick was there, but as you said, took the initiative. Kick goes to the wing. Scotland tried to feed it back. That just opened the door for Green. Along to Brown. Now, Buick deserves a third after the efforts he's put in tonight. And he might well get it here with a set shot.
Notice that Brown went for that kick. I think was it Buick or Banfield? Oh, sorry, Banfield or Green who ran past in the bottom of the screen there. That was an easy give over the top for him to take a shot from 40 out in the end. Remember when Banfield burned him in the second quarter? It might have been a payback if it was.
So Buick lines them up. It's 2 goals 2 becomes 2 goals 3. So not really the return that he could have worked for tonight.
You feel they need another tall forward option, the Brisbane Lions.
Well, I mean, you're right, King. Merritt's played there most of the year, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And Maguire's been out the last few weeks, so he's been forced to go back.
I know you got singed yourself, and Pickers got singed saying that Merritt should have been a backman, and he came out and he kicked 4 in 5 minutes or something.
I can run you through them, Derm. I've got them scarred and etched.
Yeah, but I still think he's a backman. He can do that for you, but I still think his best footy at AFL level is a big, fast, spoiling backman who's a brute down there. You got to develop somebody with some real sheer tricks.
Simpson's starting to really rack them up now. His 29th disposal for Walker. Yaron threatening here, possibly tackled his man without the footy. Harwood just hesitated, but he knew what he was doing. He's escaping and delivering the pass to half-back, where Polkinghorne from the stand start finds Lyle through the middle. They've got a gallop here through Adcock. Thumps it into the 50, and it was well suited. And Zorko, who hasn't really been able to impact the game tonight, takes the mark, and will have the set shot on the platform from about 35 to 40 out.
Game number 13 for Dane Zorko. And chatting to people in Queensland about this lad, I said, gee, he's got so much skill, he's got so much ability and that. And they said, yeah, he wasn't all that hard on himself in the local competition. He didn't get that many friends from it. But the boy can play, and he's proving that at AFL level.
He has. There's a goal. It's 3 best and fairest, I think, with Broadbeach, which showed that he could play. There's a touch of Sir J.B. Peterson about the way you said Queensland there, Derm, I think, too.
He's a talent, Zorko. He really is, but always worry when players talk about things that have no impact on their game day or their ability to play. And I think you'll learn a big lesson from the week with Dane Zorko. I've got no doubt their coach would have made him aware.
Blokes like Dane Zorko, I reckon they're a godsend when they come and talk about things like that, Kingy. They give the rest of us in the media something to throw darts at or say, isn't that funny?
42 points the margin now. Lyle hacking it forward. Not a kind bounce for Simon Black. Interested in your thoughts on Watson as he continues his footy education. What do you make from what you've seen?
He's about 40% of the way through on what he needs to be as a bodywork player. His size and shape, he's going to take some big grunt forwards as Carlton hopefully escalate up the ladder and challenge next year and beyond. And his kicking will take care of itself. He's
played 10 games. Yeah, we judge the players very quickly, don't we? Very early.
He's done a few good things, but you can see that there's a lot of the time where he avoids the contact. I think there's times we've seen snippets of him where he's getting better at it, but he's got so much more of that game. So they've got to put him into these types of games and maybe even play him on Jonathan Brown to teach him when they know the game's not going to be lost. Educate him against the best, so you minimise the impact.
Here's Walker. Out of bounds, is it? Yep.
I think he's a player, Watson. He's a first-round selection. I think that he could be a half-back flanker of quality. There's their next three. Round 21, Essendon, the Gold Coast and St Kilda. Gee, they could mount a serious charge. You'd hate to play them in the first week of the finals. Wrigley
back to the wing. Scotland circled and then barged his way through, was looking for help. Gibbs, good crunching attack on the footy from Bryce Gibbs. Angled the pass to half forward, tough for Bell. Scotland comes again. Gibbs is still there waiting for it, but Armfield might be able to have it. No, he does share it with Gibbs, who deserves the goal. Stabbed it too low. And Merritt takes the mark on the last. And drives it straight back out from where it came. So some tired bodies out there have to...
See that one, though, again, Hutto. That kick went to a 1-on-3. They somehow... luckily got out of it because they push in the back and it's an infringement. Not great play by the Carlton boys, but 1-on-3, and it's the Brisbane Lion player taking the shot to kick, the selection to kick it there.
Well, Beams helped some escape that time, and Redden places it for Simon Black. Curnow intervenes. Back for Scotland. Running that fine line to half forward. Walker had to go against two. McLean got Gibbs on the inside, but it's the Lions that end up brandishing the footy. Quick kick Buick into the 50 it goes. Wandering one, could go any which way. Watson couldn't quite, but he gets a second opportunity. Lyle there, the nice little pat, took care of it to Simpson. And he's running hard to get it again. His 31st disposal. Able to share and share alike. Cruiser takes the mark at half-back. There's a minute 10 now on the clock. Cruiser goes up to half forward. Jared Waite, nice body work, Patfield. Just got a touch on at the right moment. That's probably 50. Against Garlett, which will almost take him, Joel Patfield, within striking range.
Sure will if he can kick it like Malcolm Blight.
I said almost, Derv.
Yeah, he'd have a go. This stage of the game.
Beams will have a go. There's no one in the square, and he says, thank you very much.
Yeah, the good last quarter.
So in front of 26,000 people, Carlton's lead just being trimmed here back to 36 points late.
Well, and that's the question for me. At the start of the quarter, I mentioned being ruthless. To be a great side, to be a premiership contender. They've kicked 4 goals straight this term, Carlton, from 10 inside 50s. Limping to the line. The Lions have actually fought this out quite well. 13 inside 50s for 5 goals 4. They haven't put them away, and I think that's been what's really been lacking all year. It has always been the captain that's driven that. If Chris Judd's not there, then they can just coast through periods of games.
Beams 8 possessions in this final quarter, spent the whole final quarter on the ball, 100% kicking efficiency.
So Redden trying to escape out the back door, but Adcock flying through. There might be one more opportunity for the Lions. Deep kick crafted into the pocket. Black with Carlton players from either side. No free kick paid. White to Watson. Used his right boot, and that's safe enough. And Gibbs takes the mark. And we're down to 17 seconds now. And in it goes to Yaron. And Murphy. And Scotland. And the Blues will win by 6 goals here at Etihad Stadium. And they're still in the race for September. 17-11-1-13 to 10-17-77. Not perfect, but there was glimpses of their best.
Well, with that, the Blues go +1 in the win-loss ratio. Mark Murphy comes out onto the ground. Carazzo as well. Another serviceable game by him. They were pressed really early in the match. Brisbane's pace on the outside was a little bit for them to counteract, but then when they started to get their ball winners into gear, they found the footy, they floated out wide, they were able to move the ball with a bit of purpose, and then they started cashing in. They really came with an avalanche in the third quarter with a big scoring quarter of footy. Walker on screen there, started in the midfield, halfway through the second quarter, pushed into the forward line, was dangerous for size and shape and the pace he could get off the mark. And we have Redden, 27 possessions on screen. Jeffy Carlton.